Well, yeah, I'd rather be cruising. Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, yeah, that's what it looks like here in Canada, at least Ottawa today. Yeah, I'd much rather be cruising, but do you hear that? Do you hear it? It's quiet today. And what I mean by that is there's not a ton of huge news stories about cruising and all the canceled ports and the canceled ships and the people stuck on ships and all the horrible things that are going on. There's very little in the cruise news today that way. So maybe, just maybe, we're turning that corner. Now, I do have a few news stories, including some very important ones for Alaska. But I just wanted to say, yeah, some people have commented, hey, Don, you goofed. Yeah, and now I didn't goof in my information. I goofed the other day. You might have saw me, I'm saying, and so we'll be right back right after this. And then I kind of stood there like this. And then I started talking. Well, that's where the intro goes. And for some reason, the computer didn't enter the intro. So yeah, sorry for looking awkwardly at you for a few moments. Yeah, I do make mistakes the odd time. Okay, now, what's happening right now? As I said, there's not a lot of stories about cruises that are broken down, like pandemic and that. In fact, I'm getting message after message after message after message from people who are on cruises right now. They're saying, well, it's about 1% of the passengers caught COVID or were close contacts, but the cruise went on as normal. The entertainment was there as normal. We loved our cruise. We loved it so much we booked another cruise just a few weeks away or another month away. So it looks like, fingers crossed, we could be finally turning that corner. One of the big good things that has happened is we just got an earnings report from Fort Lauderdale. And Fort Lauderdale says since the cruising industry has restarted, that cruise port has earned over $8 million in taxes. $8 million for the one cruise port in that city. And that's just basic. Here's some tax. There's other things like hotels and all that. It's not added into that. Restaurants, pre-cruises, flights, not added into that. So that's just the cruise port is finally starting to turn the corner and make some money as well after a long, long time of losing money and laying people off. And let's hope more and more cruise ports across North America and the globe get into that situation. I know here in Canada we have Vancouver, and cruise ports out on the East Coast are just chomping at the bit for cruise ships to be able to get back and start paying some of their taxes as well. Speaking of Alaska, well, it's almost time. The February 28th is the time that the Canadian government has put their ban on cruise ships. Is that about to be extended or anything? No. As of right now, they are in negotiations right now to set up the terms and conditions for cruising returning to Canada. Like, are you going to need to test? Are you going to need to, test getting off the ship? If you're leaving from Canada and we're going up into Alaska, what are the testing requirements there to come back to Canada? If you're doing a return, all those kinds of stories and things, they're actually negotiating them right now, and we're hoping to hear some positive news, or at least what is going to be required coming out very, very soon. Fingers crossed they're not too restrictive. Now, there is something that also is going on, and that is cruise ships in dry dock. During this time, again, more and more cruise ships have been able to go into dry dock for either refitting, repairs, paint jobs, getting that extra touches done. In fact, the dry dock industry has gone up 120% in the last 3 months. They're really, really busy, and they're getting it done. They say they're getting more and more done, and every time a ship shuts down for any length of time, they're able to get a ship in there and get some work done. So hopefully that when we're back on those ships that are paused or slowed, We're going to see bright, shiny new ships. We're going to see all the bells and whistles, and we're also going to see a new spiffy paint job. That would be nice. I don't like seeing rust on the sides of some of these ships that were sitting there for so long. Here is one more news story that's coming out in Canada that is very important to Alaska as well. But before I get there, let me just invite you to hit that subscribe. While there's not a lot of cruise news today, there is cruise news almost every day. And hopefully from now on it's going to be good news. But just in case you need to be up to date with all things cruising, canceled cruises, canceled itineraries, canceled ports, what ships are sailing, what ships aren't sailing, and all the protocols. If you want to keep up to date with that, just hit that subscribe button. Doesn't cost anything, and boy, it really does help the channel out, and I'd really appreciate it. Okay, so what's happening with Alaska? Well, all those cruises that are coming into Canada and all those cruises sailing out of Canada, a lot of people know that, hey, if you want to fly into Canada right now, you need a PCR test to fly into Canada. Well, the cruise lines are also saying, well, you have to have your test 2 days before your cruise. And it can take a while for you to get a regular PCR test results back. So people are wondering, is that going to interfere? Is that going to am I going to be able to get the test back in time? Or do I have to pay an extra $100 and get a quick PCR test? And for my whole family, $100 per person, that's extra expense I don't want to pay. Well, right now we have the airports, medical officials, travel industry, etc., now going to the Canadian government and saying, look, if people are vaccinated coming into Canada, they should no longer need to take a test to just come into the country. The reason we got tests were so we don't have, the reason people got vaccinated was so they don't have to go through testing and they don't have the extra burden of the extra thing. And they are saying that really this would free up an awful lot of resources that are currently needed for getting tests done for people who are actually symptomatic, not people who are just traveling. If you add up how many people travel into Canada on a daily basis, and then you say, okay, every one of those needs to be sent to a pharmacy, and it needs to be tested, and the results need to be tracked, and need to come back. That's a lot of resources that can be used by the medical professionals and the pharmacies and that to do people who are actually showing signs, or in our schools, or in our hospitals, that is much more urgent to get done than somebody coming to visit their family in Wawa, Canada. So there's a lot of pressure. So if we're lucky, we will see a change to that policy, possibly by the same time that the cruises restart at the end of February of this year. That would be really good news for a lot of people coming to Canada on coastal cruises, when you're coming up into Canada to see the fall colors, leaving from Canada, go see Vancouver, countries coming transatlantics, all that kind of stuff would make it so much easier for the travel industry as a whole, including airlines, hotels, shopping along the borders, hotels along the borders, Niagara Falls, all places like that. And hopefully we will see a change in that policy by the end of February. Fingers crossed, if not sooner. Fingers crossed. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Till next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.